Here's the continuation of the local calling area survey from the 236 Ocala Motor Switch office, recorded in May 1982.
Now here's a call to 288.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is not in service at this time. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or stay on the line and an operator will answer. 904-288.
Station operator, what number did you dial?
That was another example of a digital switch charging for the intercept operator. The trunk is still here. The trunkage out to there is all T-carrier, but then from it to Leesburg, where the operators are, is N3 family carrier or long-distance carrier. 288 Ocala is now a digital. Ocala used to be something more interesting in 1978, something electromechanical.
Okay, here's some 245 calls, again that goes through the 351 tandem, and this office does the connecting after you dial 24.
.245 Bellevue is a Stromberg XY. We know because of this classic Stromberg XY supervision test. The carrier to Bellevue is 2600 controlled. It sounds like long-distance carrier to me. It might be an N3 family, but that sure sounds like L carrier to me.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is not in service at this time. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or stay on the line and an operator will answer. 904-245.
This being a Stromberg XY, you know what we're about to hear.
What number did you dial, please?
245-2299.
Shows to be a working number. Would you try it again?
Sure will.
Thank you.
That pretty much confirms that Bellevue is a senderized XY, but I did not expect to hear a different code being used. The other senderized XYs in Ocala used the code 414 to reach the operator. This office uses 510, and guess what? 510 is one of the codes that the ESC that had indecipherable MF sounds could be using. I said it could be 110, I didn't mention all the possibilities. 510 is one of them, so chances are that's what it is. What I did next was to try dialing 510 into the toll trunk.
Sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask your operator to help you. 90412.
All right, perhaps 510 has to be dialed into the local tandem, the 351 machine. And as soon as I can figure out a way to get into the 351 machine without this office already dialing something, I will try it. Okay, now here's 687. I think I'm on lockout now. Let me dial a digit and I'll probably get my dial tone.
"687, Silver Springs Shores is a stored program control switch, probably an ESC. This is the first example we've heard in a while where you hear the MFs from the actual 351 Ocala tandem. And the reason you hear them is because Silver Springs Shores is reflecting them back from the distant end. The reason that happens is that this digital tandem in downtown Ocala, 351, always lets you hear the return path while it is MFing out. So anytime it's sending multi-frequency to another office, you're listening already to the sound coming back from that office. Now, if the other office is a digital, such as 595 Citra, you hear the trunk noise while the MFing is going on, you hear the flash, and then it just starts ringing, almost as if by magic. Like that. The reason you don't hear the MFs there is because the digital switch, while it's listening to the MFs, isn't transmitting anything, nor does it have anything on the line to echo back what it is receiving. So it's hearing the MFs, it's just not putting out anything. That said, there is an exception, several exceptions in this phone company area. There are some switches that this phone company uses that appear to be digital and not Northern Telecom DMS 100s. They might be the Stromberg DCO, but these switches will sometimes reflect back the MFs a little bit when they're receiving them. It's inconsistent, and there's no reason why it would do it, but it does. Might have to do with service observing. That's just a guess. But anyway, what we saw with 595 Citra, no reflection while receiving MFs, is the norm for digital switches. By contrast, the stored program control switches, they may be computer controlled, but they've got a two-wire network for the most part. There's an actual physical piece of hardware on the line receiving the MFs, and that causes the sound of the MFs to loop all the way back from the distant end, and you can hear them. It's really a question of whether anything is bridging the receive and the transmit at the far end. So basically, when the Ocala tandem MFs to an ESC or a Bell System number 1 ESS, you're going to hear the tones. This characteristic of most of the DMS switches during the late 70s and most of the 80s was responsible for the resurgence of hearing MF tones in the network. There was actually a period during the 1980s where MF tones were audible to customers more and more and more. It was very strange because it was a reversal of all the other trends of the system getting more boring. But this was getting nice. And it was just because of the DMS. Every time it went to an AIS-type system, or a DMS tandem MF'd to a crossbar 5, or when a DMS 100 customer dialed a 0+ call going to TSPS, again a two-wire system, you would hear the tones. Now, you're never going to believe why it is that sometime in the early 90s these sounds were silenced. It is unbelievable, but Bill Acker knows because he was working with the phone company. Customers began hearing the tones on local calls and feared that the sound of those tones meant that they were being charged for a long-distance call. So the phone companies were literally getting complaints about this. And that just shows you how cemented in the zeitgeist the association of MF tones being heard and long distance was. Perhaps most of the complainers were older folks who actually were around back in the days when the Bell system pointed out the tones to promote their long-distance service in the 1960s. Now, the following call is an amazing combination of good timing and bad timing, because I had just been saying that I wanted to try the code 510 in the local tandem if only I could find a way to get into the tandem without something first being dialed. What I needed was for this local office to put me into the tandem without dialing anything so that I could dial 510 to see if it went to the intercept operator. Well, it just so happens that a few calls after I made that comment, that is exactly what happened. I dialed 687, and for some reason it connected to the tandem and did not dial the 68, and you can hear me gasping. Then I say something. Well, you'll see.
Oh, look at this. It didn't dial anything when it dialed 510. Oh, let's try again. I wish I'd realized what was going on in time. All right. It's dialed 68 now, dial the last 5 digits.
On the next call, we're going to learn something new about an ESC. You can actually send it a double key pulse and it doesn't mind. Listen for this. That's the digital in downtown Ocala messing up, sending a double key pulse in the MF sequence. Most switches that heard that would not like it. But Silver Springs Shores doesn't have a problem with it. Here's the call.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is not in service at this time. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or stay on the line and an operator will answer. 904-687.
What number did you dial?
687-9999.
That number you're dialing is a vacant number, sir.
Thank you. Whoa, let's take this one again.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is not in service at this time. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or stay on the line and an operator will answer. 904-687.
Special operator, what number dialing? Special operator, what number dialing?
Well, from the way that dial tone came on, this is a Stromberg ESC, Silver Springs Shores, but they did it a different way, obviously. This is actually a hotline to intercept in an ESC office. They actually set up a phone line so that when you pick it up, you get a dial tone and it calls the operator. It's very hard to hear it, but in a minute I will filter the call for you, filter out the dial tone that is, and you can hear what's going on. Interestingly, this call has not timed out. I was expecting another dial tone or a lockout.
While I'm waiting for the timeout that looks like it isn't going to happen, let me tell you that next I'm going to be calling 591, which again goes through the tandem.
And by the way, I hope that no one is getting bored because we keep hearing these recordings over and over, done by the same person every time.
Hello?
What?
If you spend your time talking to people rather than repeatedly dialing numbers.
I know. Anyway, let's take a look at that dial tone. I've never seen a hotline in an ESC before, but apparently you do get a dial tone. But underneath the dial tone, the call is going through. Now here's the way it sounds normally.
Special operator, what number dialing?
All right, that's not easy to hear, but if we filter out the dial tone, you can tell that it is picking up, getting a dial tone, and at the very same time seizing a trunk to a tandem. The trunk flashes, and it keys a 3-digit code that sounds very much like 510.
Special operator, what number dialing?
There you have it. This way is actually easier for them because rather than having a phone line and some equipment to dial the number, all they need to do is have the phone line, and when you pick it up, the call goes through to intercept. The next call is to 591 via the tandem. Well, this trunk's a real piece of work. What was that? Anyway, the trunk is 2600 controlled. That unpleasant buzz probably means that it's T-carrier in the middle part. And then there's this weird crosstalk, too.
Sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or call your operator to help you. We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or call your operator to help you.
I'm going to make 2 calls to 591. On the first, I'll dial slowly. On the second, I'll dial quickly.
Ah, that was pretty. The carrier is long-distance type, I think. The switch is, to me, unclassifiable because it makes a soft tick before the ring. And the amount of MF reflection varies from call to call.
All right, now a couple of calls to 821.
sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is not in service at this time. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or stay on the line and an operator will answer. 904-326.
Special operator, what number did you dial?
821-2358.
821-2358. I sure that should be a working number, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to dial another 821 call, and then we'll try that code 326 here. I imagine it will be vacant. Okay, let me see if the 326 is a code that works here. I doubt it, but that 821 recording did identify that way.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask your operator to help you. 904-236. We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask your operator to help you. 904-236.
Nope, got as far as 32. Something interesting about 821 is that even on MF incoming, it doesn't care to hear the last part of the number if the first digit is an invalid thousand group. When I dialed 821, 1 anything, the office started ringing the recording as soon as it heard the digit 1. It didn't wait for the start. I can tell this because the reflection of the MFs gets replaced by the ring. Let me dial another 821 number and you'll notice that all you'll hear reflected back from the other end is key 1, and then it'll go to the ring because it's already ringing the recording. 821, I'll dial 1234.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is not in service at this time. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or stay on the line and an operator will answer. 904-326.
Let me do it again, dialing quickly, 821-1234.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is not in service at this time. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or stay on the line and an operator will answer. 904-326.
Special operator, what number you dial, please? Special operator, what number you dial, please? This is special operator, what number you dial, please?
I'll tell you, this 821 code is a headache and a half, meaning that I have to explain a lot. First of all, in 1978, 821 was translating to another office code, 753, in a place called Lady Lake, which was not local, but 821 went through anyway. Now it's translating to a different office code, 326, which is in Leesburg. Also not local, but that's where a lot of the operators for the Florida Telephone Company are. The intercept operators, for example.
Special operator, what number you dial, please?
The 326 switch is some sort of a digital because it doesn't click, but it does reflect the MFs at a low volume for some reason. After the recording plays, it goes to the Leesburg toll tandem, which is an NX1D, to get the operator. Anyway, 821 has to be a phone company code or a mass calling code.
All right, now the code for the time, 844. First I'll dial some number other than 1212, and then I'll call 1212.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again, or ask your operator to help you. 904-351.
Boy, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't think that... See, now only 844-1212 goes through to the time, and there was that recording again. Yeah, I was wondering if I could reset the trunk by fast flashing, but no such luck. Anyway, I'm sorry about the recordings being so monotonous.
Excuse me.
Oh boy.
Who do you want? Santa Claus?
No, actually, I thought about what you said before.
Okay.
The phone I was using had free local calling. I could have done stuff like calling restaurants up and asking what's on the menu.
As cheap as you are.
I mean, to have a conversation.
Nobody wants to talk to you.
Oh, come on.
Good night.
This time I'm going to make sure I call 844-1212. The ring comes from the downtown XY.
At Mid-State Federal, you can find a savings plan that's right for you. Time 9, 7. Temperature 72.
Oh boy, it's still doing it 6 years later. Amazing. I'm going to turn the sensitivity up all the way and listen to the crosstalk. The next call will be to 489 Donaldton. The Bell system point in the local calling area used to be a number 355 step.
Time 9, 9. Temperature 72. At this station, you can find a savings plan that's right for you. Time 9, 10. Temperature 72.
The number you have reached, 489-2299, is not in service. In area code 904. Please check the number and dial again. 489-2299 is not in service. In area code 904.
Nice trunk to Jacksonville AIS. I don't know what switch type this is now. It's not number 1 or number 2 ESS. On the next call, notice how it doesn't click into the ring.
Okay, now 685.
.685 Salt Springs is the other motor switch in the area. Notice, by the way, how in 1978 it had modern ring, but not now. The other 1982 calls to Salt Springs are in part 2 of this series.
All right, now 546.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. Please check the number and dial again or stay on the line and an operator will answer you. Special operator may help you. Special operator may help you.
Yeah, I'm calling 546-3392.
Thank you. Just a moment. The number you have reached, 546-3392, is not in service in area code 904. Please check the number and dial again. 546-3392 is not in service in area code 904.
6 years later, and they still haven't fixed that. The only thing they've done is put corn breath on their recording, but you're not supposed to go to operator number identification after playing a recording and then play another recording. You just don't do that. Well, in this office you do. The switch type, I don't know. It's the same as we had in 1978. The difference is that we've got bodacious carrier noise now. It's a new trunk group with old carrier. And we MF to it, of course. The MFs have kind of a shaky sound to them because there's crosstalk between the two channels, one of which carries the sound going out and the other carries the sound coming back, and it's crosstalk between the two that is responsible for at least part of the reflection of the MFs we hear. Here's another call to 546. Well, we've come down to almost the end of this series. It's been long, but I wanted it long because this is an unusual switch. These are the only tapes I have of it. One thing that I wanted to document is the outgoing holding time. That is, if you call someone up and they hang up on you, how long can you hold their line? And what happens when you get disconnected, assuming that you do? Well, this next call contains the answer to that. It's also a very long recording, so I've put it here at the end in case you don't want to hear it over and over. But you know, it actually documents something else. Listen in amazement at how low the prices are. I haven't done the math, but I think that even adjusting for inflation, this shows that there was a time when Florida was not the land of the outstretched palm. I mean, for a beautiful nature attraction, trying desperately to be a theme park and failing miserably, it's really cheap.
Thank you for calling Florida Silver Springs. For your driving information, we are located 1 mile east of Ocala on State Route 40. We open at 9 a.m. and close the park at 5:30 p.m. The ticket booths will close approximately 1.5 hours prior to the park closing. We suggest 3.5 to 4 hours to view the entire park. Our admission price is $7.75 per adult and $5.75 per child ages 3 through 11. Those children under 3 years of age are admitted free. The one-price admission includes the glass-bottom boat, the jungle cruise, the antique car collection, the Reptile Institute, the deer park, and the gardens. Wild Waters, our water theme park located next door to Silver Springs, is open from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. All-day prices are $5.95 per adult, $4.95 per child ages 3 through 11. Children under 3 years of age are admitted free. Weeki Wachee is located on U.S. Highway 50, north of Tampa. The admission price is $6.50 per adult and $4.50 per child ages 3 through 11.
Those children under 3 years of age are admitted free. The one-price admission includes the Mermaid Show, the Birds of Prey Show, the Wilderness Cruise, and the Tropical Rainforest. We open at 9 a.m. and close the park at 5:30 p.m. The ticket booth will close approximately 1.5 hours prior to the park closing. We suggest 3 to 4 hours to view the entire park. The annual passport is available, which offers unlimited admission to Silver Springs and Weeki Wachee for 1 year from date of purchase. Prices are $12.50 per adult and $8.50 per child, ages 3 through 11. Group rates are available for all parks upon request. For further information, contact our office Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Thank you.
There it is, 25 seconds. And what it's put us on is lockout. At this point, the slightest flash will send us back to dial tone.
God, I thought that recording would never end.
That's it for this program.
Thank you. Please hang up now. You'll receive the next call from an exceptionally amorous left-handed Lithuanian sanitation engineer.